My name's Margaret Purdon, and I'm going to talk about my father who went to the First World War. He was born in Townsville, in Main Street, Railway Estate, and his mother died when he was 5. His father got very sick and he put him in the orphanage and he paid them to look after them for him until he died. They had to leave when they were 12 and he was taken down to Ayr by a doctor and he had to look after the horses for the doctor. They took him to the circus and they taught him to ride the horses and he just loved it, yeah. This is a book that my brother had done. It's a family history book from right back as far as he could go. Henry went to the First World War and he was 18. He tried when he was 17, but his sister wouldn't let him join. And he was in the 2nd Light Horse. Henry changed the spelling of his surname from German EN to English ON. But they changed it back again when he came back again at CN. He disembarked in the Suez Canal at Suez. He was in Palestine, Jerusalem. He used to always call it the Holy Land that they were in, yeah. The Light Horsemen were mounted riflemen, mounted infantry equipped with rifle and bayonet, not the cavalry. A letter from my dad to his sister. Sickness among the men was a real problem as the heat and dust increased and overworked men became very low in physical tone and had very little power of resistance to sickness. In addition to malaria, minor maladies became prevalent. Thousands of men suffered from blood troubles known as sandfly fever and 5-day fever. Few escaped severe stomach disorders. Henry did not miss out and suffered from influenza, malaria and stomach cramps during his time overseas. In a letter to Sister Eva, he wrote, "I don't think I have ever felt well since I arrived here. The men's bivvy sheets gave a little shelter from the fierce sun by day and the insects made sleep almost impossible at night. Some nights the men were called upon to travel without rest and they were so exhausted that each time they dismounted they would drop into clumps of bushes beside the track and fall instantly into a heavy sleep. And upon this threshold of hell, the men were called upon not only to hold their line against an aggressive army, but also had to engage in severe physical labour for many weeks." He talked to us a lot about the war, yeah, and told us all the different things that, he did. On July the 14th, 1918, Lieutenant King and his regiment were ordered to occupy the Tallall Right, No. 1, to delay the enemy into conjunction with Bluff's posts until the Brigade reserves got there and to hold them at no cost. Lieutenant King told Henry to stay back behind the line with the horses. The enemy attacked all 3 posts. Lieutenant King put up a most heroic defence but was overwhelmed by superior numbers. He was killed and every man of his troop was either killed or wounded. My father was really lucky to come back. The thing that he used to get upset about too was when the war had finished, all the horses were shot. They shot them all so that nobody else could get them. And he said some of them were absolutely beautiful horses. On April the 30th, Henry arrived back in Brisbane and marched through the streets with his unit and dismissed at the drill hall in Adelaide Street. I can still remember him telling me when when they called their names for him to go onto the ship, and his name was Borresen, so he got on very early, you know, and he said he'd never run on so fast in all his life. He said, I think he said he was about second or third on the ship, you know, and they called his name, he was on that ship and he was going home. So, yeah, he was more eager to come home than he was to go, I think.